everybody, this is Kristen, and today I have for you the next clue for our Cotton Cuts Mystery Quilt. So we are on number 6 now, and this month we have 2 different pieces to make. So our first one is going to be like this. Easy peasy, right? And then we have this, which looks much, much worse than it is. So you're going to make 2 of each of those, and that's going to be our clue for this month. So again, it's a month where it's like, oh my goodness, this is scary looking, but it's really not that bad. So, like I said, we're on 6. We have only 3 more months to go. So kind of crazy that we're almost done with this, but I'm excited to see what happens. So if you want to sew along with me, stay tuned and we will get to that in just a second. If not, thanks for popping in and checking out what this month's clue looks like. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, etc., as always, drop me a line down in the comments below. Subscribe, hit the like button if you don't mind, and I will see you next month. Alright, so make sure you have your clue sheet. Make sure you have your sheet with the colors on it as well, because that is definitely going to come in handy this month, because we have a lot of different fabrics, a lot of different pieces. So we're just going to start from the top. Since I like to chain piece, I'm going to do step 1 and step 2 at the same time. And step 1 says join a small triangle of A fabric, which is this guy here, to my A square. So my A square is going to be, get that angled a little bit better so you can actually see. There we go. Okay, so my A fabric square is going to be on the left hand side. I'm going to take my triangle and put it on the right hand side and make sure that the long edge is pointing out. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over so that I have right sides together, and I'm going to pin that, and then we're going to move on to step 2 so that I can get this project done in record time. Okay, so now we're going to get your C fabric. It's a rectangle out, and so for me it's a light purple. So I'm going to take my rectangle, and that is going to go in this kind of like left hand corner, and then I'm going to take a matching C fabric triangle and put it on the right hand side, again with the long end facing outwards. So I'm going to go ahead and flip those over right sides together, match up the edges, pin. Once you get that done, you're going to go ahead and go sew those together, and then when you're ready to press, make sure you're looking at the your diagrams, your clues, because it does tell you where to press it. So for this littler one, you're going to press it towards the square, and for the bigger one, you're going to press towards the rectangle. So make sure that you do that, and then we're going to move on to the next clue. When you come back, you should have 2 of these pieces made. Now we're going to combine those 2. We're going to put the C fabric on the bottom with the edge of the triangle pointing towards the lower right, and then your A fabric is going to go on top of that, and you're going to have that triangle, that lower end, again pointing right. So you're going to have this nice diagonal started. So we're going to do that, and it says to press towards C, so press towards that larger rectangle. Once you've got the pressing complete, you should have something that looks like this. Alright, so put it back down, and we are going to add a rectangle of your F fabric to the bottom. So for me, that's this guy right here. So I'm going to lay it out on the bottom, flip them right sides together, pin, and when I'm pressing towards that F fabric. So the rectangle that we're adding right now, that's what you're going to press towards. Alright, we should have something that looks like this now. 2 more steps and this part of the month will be done. So next we're on step 5. You're going to get your E fabric out. So she have a nice big rectangle of E fabric. That's going to go along this left hand side, okay? So I know it's a little bit hard to see, so this guy's going to be upside down for a second. This is what we just put on right here, and you're going to match up the edges, okay? So go ahead and put that on, and it says press towards E. So again, we're pressing towards the fabric that we are sewing on right now. After that, we have one more piece to put on. We have a triangle, and this portion will be done, and then we just have the easier portion of this month's clue to put together. So like I said, I mean, like last month was hopefully a lot easier than y'all thought it would be when you looked at it. That's what I'm finding with this month, is it looks a little bit more intimidating than it really is. So, okay, I'm gonna sew this and go ahead and press it. One thing that you're gonna notice that I'm doing right here is I'm flipping it upside down, and that's because I have my seams here, and it's so much easier if I am able to sew and the machine just naturally pushes the seams the way I want them to be, rather than me, you know, flipping things up and finagling and finessing as my machine is going when the seams are on the other side. So this is just way easier. I like to do it when I can. So I'm going to finish this up, I'm going to press, and we will come back with the last portion of this bit. Last but not least, this is what we just put on, is this bit right down here. And now, since this is a rectangle missing a corner, we're going to finish up that corner. So you're going to get out your D fabric, and that goes up in the corner to make your rectangle. So do your best to figure out the middle, or just start with one edge. I'm just starting with one end and lining up the corners as best I can and pinning down. One thing to keep in mind with this triangle especially, that would probably be my husband. I will call him back as soon as I finish this little snippet. One thing to think about is we're working with a bias edge, so just make sure you're not pulling it. Alrighty, so I got everything sewn together. Here's my block. There we go. I think this is right way up. So this is what I just put on. Now I have a block. So the harder of the two is done. Yay! We are going to go on to the second part of our clue for the month, and for that you only need 4 bits of fabric, so it's way easier. Alright, so you're going to take a larger A triangle, and you're going to put it on your left hand side with the long edge pointing towards the upper left. You're going to match it with a C triangle along short ends so that this open long end is pointing towards the upper right, okay? So get those matched up, pin with the pretty sides, the right side of fabric together, and when you go to, oops, try not to move your fabric when you're talking. When you go to press, you're going to be pressing towards C. Alright, so sew it, press it, and we'll be back. Your 2 little triangles have now made a big triangle, and we're going to go ahead and put those on the lower right hand corner of your soon-to-be square. So your C fabric should be on your bottom, your A fabric should be on that left hand, or sorry, right hand side. Then you're going to get out your triangle of D, and that's going to fill in the remaining part of your square. So again, go ahead and put right sides together. We're working with a bias edge again, so just be really careful when pinning and sewing, so you're not tugging at the fabric, because that can distort it. So just make sure you're being very gentle with it, schmoozing it, and that'll hopefully give you the best chance for success with your bias edge. Once you get it all sewn, press towards D, so press towards the triangle that we're putting on right now. When you come back, you'll have a nice square like so. Alright, we're going to put your newly made square back down with that D fabric pointing to the upper left. You're going to get your F fabric out, and that is just going to go right there on the bottom. Easy peasy. Flip it over, sew it, and you're going to press towards F, so we're pressing towards the fabric that we are adding right now as we speak. And that is it. Literally, once you sew this little bit of fabric on and you press it, that'll be it for this month. Done. So, let me get this done, and then we will rejoice in the fact that we are done with month 6. Alright, my friends, we are done for this month. So you should have 2 matching pieces that look like that, and 2 matching pieces that look like this. And that is our month 6. So hopefully y'all found it easy, even though it looks tough. Hopefully you found it to be an easy month. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of fold these guys over, and then I always store them back in those plastic bags that it comes with. So I go back, grab my plastic bag, I grab my directions, and then just to make life easy, I always put this in, the most recent one, and I slide it directly back in this bag. And that way I have every single month stored, and it's easy for me to just grab them rather than, you know, hopefully finding the right ones in some unnamed box when I need them. So there you go. That's my trick, or tip, or whatever you want to call it, for what I do with my clues. So I just have a nice little contained piece for all my clues. So there you go. Also want to point out that I was playing chicken with my bobbin and I won, so yay to me. A lot of you know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure you feel my success, my happiness. Okay, I think that's it for this month. If y'all have questions, or you know, want to see something in my next video that I didn't do in this video, let me know. That really helps me. And I hope to hear from you guys. Give me a like if you don't mind. That really helps my views and lets me keep doing this for you guys. And I will see you next month.